So what you can see on the table are 8 Oy'Nissh condiments. Now the 4 at the front are the marinades or oinifiers, and the 4 at the back are sauces or oiners. Hi everyone, welcome again to another vlog about Oy'Nissh products. So in previous videos I took you on a journey on various trails, fruit trails, vegetable trails. So I did 4 fruit trails. I did the Bramley one, I did Elderberry, I did Blackberry, I went apple picking. Apple picking was done in the Inveresk Lodge Gardens, where I also was fortunate to obtain some mulberry. I got the blackberry from the New Winton woodland in East Lothian, and I got the elderberry from the Craigmillar Castle Park. Now, the idea was to collect these fruits, turn them into condiments or sauces, what's known as Oy'Nissh, and then use these to accompany other dishes or to make other dishes. Now, in this video, I'll be showing you the end result of what happened when the process of preparing these fruits turned into actual oinifiers or sauces. Second to that, I also explained in previous videos about obtaining autumn vegetables that are in season here in Scotland, knowing that it would have been impossible to forage for them in the forest. The idea was to go to a supermarket to get some of these seasonal vegetables. I also looked at visiting various supermarkets just to get a comparison, not so much about prices, that was a plus, but just to see what's on offer. And at the end, Tesco in Musselburgh was the place that had all 4 vegetables. Now the 4 vegetables are beetroot, leek, yellow peppers and spinach. Now these were obtained and also were turned into condiments, Oy'Nissh condiments. These were made into marinades, or what's known as oinifiers. So at the end result, we had 8 condiments, 4 sauces or oiners, and 4 marinades or oinifiers. These will now go to make various food products, and then afterwards I'll be going through the linguistic terms used in Oy'Nissh food language to explain this new brand of Jamaican food. Take into consideration that this approach is done outside Jamaica, making it a Jamaican-made food for the international market with an international context. And the context is the health promotion of fruit and vegetable consumption in season in a particular locality. Now this locality is the literal locality in which the food is prepared, but also the country, which would be Scotland, but also UK, which all share a similar season. So continue to journey with me as I now go through the various condiments, and then in coming videos, actual food products made from them. Now, I'll be going through them individually, but please note the various colors, because that's one of the distinguishing contrast between Oy'Nissh condiments and traditional jerk, because the focus is on promoting fruit and vegetable consumption by season. The condiment takes the color from each individual fruit or veg on health promotion. This is significant because we're talking about a variety of color of food, which is good and appealing to the eyes, but also to distinguish one product from the next. Now, firstly, I'll be going through the marinades. So here again are our 4 marinades with their various textures: medium, very fine and fine texture, different colors. We've got our beetroot, leek, yellow peppers and spinach. These will now go to make other food products. This is the Oy'Nissh beetroot marinade, or the beetroot oinifier. Now, the beetroot also was obtained at the Tesco Musselburgh as the other 3 vegetables, and as I mentioned with few of the vegetables, they came under the name Tesco. 2 reasons could be that Tesco actually have farms throughout the UK that grow stuff, or there's a collective where people supply Tesco with various products. It's packaged here and then give to Tesco to sell. So for credible source, I use Tesco as the source because it wasn't clear as to exactly where they obtained it from. So it's a Tesco sourced beetroot that's in season and grown in the UK. Now, it is the first beetroot marinade made for this season, and therefore it is number 1. So the full name of the sauce will be Tesco Musselburgh Autumn Beetroot Mafrévor number 1. That is Tesco Musselburgh Autumn Beetroot Mafrévor number 1. So this is the spinach marinade, otherwise spinach oinifier, and it's made from baby spinach from Nigel Patrick that has been sold to Tesco Musselburgh. So its original source is Nigel Patrick, and that's some form of farm in the UK somewhere, but it's grown in season, and that's important. So it's sourced from Nigel Patrick to Tesco. It's baby spinach, and it's the first baby spinach marinade that have been made for this season. Therefore, it's number 1. It's a very fine texture marinade, and it doesn't have any chili. So the full name is Nigel Patrick Autumn Baby Spinach Mifrévor number 1. That is Nigel Patrick Autumn Baby Spinach Mifrévor number 1. Now, Mifrévor means very fine texture marinade, that is Oy'Nissh marinade that doesn't have any chili. So this is the Leek marinade, or the Leek oinifier. Now, the Leek was obtained from the Tesco in Musselburgh, Scotland. In Oy'Nissh, each recipe, each condiment get its name from the source of the fruit or vegetable. Now, Tesco, I would imagine, have a collective of farms that sell them stuff, or chances are they've got their own farm in the UK. So whatever the arrangement is, it comes under the name Tesco because that's the label that was on the food product. It didn't specify which company grow the food. So I assume that it's Tesco. So we're using Tesco just now. So the leek was obtained in Tesco, Musselburgh on Friday the 18th of September 2020. And because it was the first marinade made, the first leek marinade made, it becomes the first standard for the season in terms of leek marinade. Therefore, it's number one. Now, in terms of naming it, it would be called Tesco Musselburgh Autumn Leek Mafrévor number 1. Let me go again. Tesco Musselburgh Autumn Leek Mafrévor number 1. Now, Mafrévor pretty much means that this particular leek marinade is of a fine texture that doesn't have chili. So Mafrévor pretty much means fine texture without chili. There we go. This is the yellow pepper marinade, and also I call a yellow pepper Oy'Nissh. Now, the pepper was also obtained from Tesco, and it wasn't specified if it was from a Tesco farm or just a collective of people supplying Tesco with yellow peppers. But Tesco is sourced as the name from which the yellow pepper was obtained. So it is a British seasonal produce from Tesco. Hopefully it's from one of their farms, but even so, it's under the name Tesco. Now, it's the first of the marinade, yellow pepper marinade that has been made during autumn. So it's the number 1 condiment so far in terms of yellow pepper production. Therefore, the name of it is Tesco Musselburgh Autumn Yellow Pepper Mafrévor number 1. That is Tesco Musselburgh Autumn Yellow Pepper Mafrévor number 1. And Mafrévor means a fine texture marinade without chili. So these are the 4 sauces, Oy'Nissh sauces or Oy'Nissh, and they will be going to make products. So this is the Blackberry sauce. That is the Oy'Nissh Blackberry sauce, otherwise called Blackberry Oy'Nissh. Now, this blackberry, as I mentioned, was earlier on in the video, was sourced from Winton, that is in East Lothian. So, and also it is the first marinade that has been made from this batch since autumn started. It also has almost a medium to fine texture, but it's mainly fine, maybe because it's quite thick, but it's got a fine texture. So the name for it will be Winton Autumn Blackberry Mifrévo number 1. That is Winton Autumn Blackberry Mifrévo number 1. It's number 1 because it's the first of the blackberry from Winton that has been created. It's Mifrévo in that it has a very fine texture and there's no chili. It does look as if it's of a medium texture, but actually it's very fine. The reality, it's thick. It doesn't have as much fluid in it, so that's why it's thick, but it's actually very fine. Thus Mifrévo mean very fine and without chili. This is the apple Oy'Nissh sauce or apple Oy'Nissh. The apple was sourced from the Inveresk Lodge Garden. That is the Inveresk Lodge Garden in Musselburgh, Scotland. And the type of apple is Bramley. So it's a Bramley apple from the Inveresk Lodge Garden. It's got a very smooth texture and it doesn't have any chili in it. Moreover, it is the first Bramley apple sauce that have been made for this autumn so far. Therefore, it's number 1. And the name for it is Inveresk Lodge Garden Autumn Bramley Apple Mifrévo number 1. That is Inveresk Lodge Garden Autumn Bramley Apple Mifrévo number 1. This is the Elderberry Oy'Nissh sauce or Elderberry Oy'Nissh. It has a smooth texture and no chili. It was sourced at the Craigmillar Castle Park and therefore will bear that name. So it's the Craigmillar Castle Park Autumn Elderberry Mifrévo number 1. Craigmillar Castle Park Autumn Elderberry Mifrévo number 1. It's the first Elderberry Oy'Nissh or Elderberry sauce that has been made since autumn begun from the batch that have been collected in that area. Nonetheless, if there's a second batch, it will be number 2. This next one is the Mulberry sauce. The Mulberry Oy'Nissh sauce or Oy'Nissh Mulberry sauce, otherwise called a Mulberry Oy'Nissh. It was sourced from the Inveresk Lodge Garden in Musselburgh, and it has a very fine texture, but in terms of sauces I refer to it as smoothness. So it's very smooth and it doesn't have any chili in it. So the name for it is Inveresk Lodge Garden Autumn Mulberry Mifrévo number 1. That is Inveresk Lodge Garden Autumn Mulberry Mifrévo number 1. It's Mifrévo because it have a very smooth texture and no chili.